نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما وزدنا علما وزدنا علما اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد. Okay, so we are continuing with our understanding of Surah Baqarah, and Alhamdulillah, we are on ayah number 246. Inshallah, let's take this forward. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي له ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله. So here, subhanallah, this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us these ayahs on the case of the Bani Israel. But these ayahs were revealed before the Battle of Badr, and these were revealed to help the Muslims understand that even in the past, situations like this were faced, and how did the people react, and what were the decisions made, and what kind of tests they had to go through, and how they were given success. So these particular set of ayahs gives people that motivation, that inspiration, the Sahabas, the motivation and inspiration that they needed to move forward with the Battle of Badr and handle it in a way that would that is in accordance to their iman and for the sake of fi sabilillah. So these ayahs cater to that particular feeling. And here we are talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alam tara ilal mala'i min bani Israel. Have you not seen those chiefs? Mala'i is the chiefs of the Bani Israel, the elite, the one who are holding those big positions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling alam tara as in not to see visually, but in the sense of to understand what happened, to understand what was the situation they faced. Right. This particular incident, it has not been mentioned in the Quran anywhere else other than here. Right. Usually the Quran has stories and incidents mentioned over and over again. Right. But this particular incident has been mentioned only in this part. Right. This has not been explained anywhere else. We do get narrations in other scriptures, but in the Quran, this is the only mention of it. And a lot of things have been, like, for example, we will see that certain information has not been mentioned out or, named, because what Allah wants us to concentrate is the message. Right here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alam tara ila al-mala'i min bani Israel min ba'di Musa. This is after the time of Musa alayhi salam. So this is a situation which is happening much after Musa alayhi salam has got the freedom for the Bani Israel, and then they've got the authority, and they are in power. They are the Muslims of that time. They are the chosen ummah of that time, right? So this is the situation when what happened is qalu li nabiyyillahum. They are telling their prophet. Now the prophet is not Musa alayhi salam. Okay, this is much after him. So we do not know who the prophet is. It is not mentioned in the Quran. And like I said, this name has been not mentioned because the message is more important. So here, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, when they went to their prophet and they asked for something, right? Now, we also, this is happening in Medina, right? And here the Muslims are surrounded by the Jews and the Christians, and they already have their books with them. So they are already familiar with this incident. So this, when this ayahs are coming, it is like for them to understand, to kind of recollect what happened then, what was the, which incident is being referred to here, right? Here again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word mala'i, which is the same word which was used when the ministers or the cabinet of Firaun was referred to. What was referred to, the cabinet was always referred to as Firaun wa mala'ihi, right? Firaun and his chiefs, right? The same word is being used over here because just like the kind of corruption they did, the kind of injustice they did, these chiefs which are being referred to here are going to be doing a similar situation, are going to be going through the similar situation. So, subhanallah, that connection that has been integrated here, very subtle connection, but yes, so that we are able to relate both the incidents. So, you have Musa alayhi salam and the court of Pharaoh and his Mala'i, and then you have the Bani Israel here with their and the chiefs of the Bani Israel again talking to their prophet. What are they saying? They're telling him, Iba Aslana Malikan. They're asking him to appoint a king. Now we know again that the prophet of that time is the highest position of that time, right? He has the authority over that time. Then why are they going and asking him for a king? Why? Because the Bani Israel, as we have seen through all the incidents, that they did not respect their prophets. They were always in denial of any prophet who came and told them to leave their wrong ways. So they did not give him the honor and the respect that he deserved. So they wanted somebody else to be appointed, right? And they were the elite, right? And they obviously expected to be chosen, one of them to be chosen for this purpose of taking going into a fight, but they wanted the prophet to be involved so that there is their political agenda could be supported, could be validated by a religious sanction. Right? So they went to the Prophet and they told him that appoint for us a king, Malikan, nuqatil fi sabilillah. Why do we want a king? So that we can fight in the way of Allah. Again, we know that fighting in the way of Allah does not need a leader, right? It does not need a king, right? You fight in the way of Allah, you do things in the way of Allah. It's on the concept of samina wa ta'ana. You hear a command, you fight, you stand up for that which is right. That is fi sabilillah. But here they were trying to have another agenda which they're trying to fit in here in the name of religion. Right? So the Prophet knew about their mentality. So he said, قَالَ هَلْ أَسَيْتُمْ إِن كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ أَلَّا تُقَاتِلُوا. The Prophet said, really? You're going to be fighting? If a king is appointed and the fighting is mandated and it is made farz on you, you're going to be fighting? He's like exclaiming it with a lot of surprise. So they say, قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله. They say, why will we not fight in the cause of Allah? And then they continue, وَقَدْ أُخْرِجْنَا مِنْ دِيَارِنَا وَأَبْنَائِنَا. This was the real reason. They said, how can we not fight when we were removed from our homes? We were separated from our children. Right, subhanallah. The truth came out that this was what they wanted to fight. Now, fighting in the cause of Allah and fighting for your homeland are two different things, right? It is not the same. Yes, it is a good cause. It is a good cause. Your land, your children, your property, you're fighting for a very good cause. It is important. It has to be protected. No doubt about it. But it is not fi sabilillah. Fi sabilillah is when you are fighting for that which is for the progress of the deen, for a truth to be established. That is fi sabilillah. But this is something else, right? So it cannot be mixed up. This was two different things. Their truth came out that this is what we want to fight for. This is what we want to kind of get back because they were not having the power that they had. So they wanted that importance. They wanted the power back. So they say that this is why will we not fight? Because this injustice was done to us, so we want it back. Right? So the Prophet, it goes on to say, فَلَمَّا كُتِبَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقِتَالُ. When this was mandated, when the fighting was mandated, they asked for it. They asked for it, and Allah gave it to them. Allah gave it to them, and when it was obligated on them to fight, what happened? They turned around, which was expected. The Prophet already knew them. He said, Will you be the ones who will fight? So here the ayah goes on to say, Tawallaw. Tawallaw, as in they turned back, they turned away. They did not do what they said. They did not do what they promised to do. Tawallaw, as in they turned back. They turned back, as in that was nothing surprising, right? This was based on the Prophet's experience about them, and Allah confirms with this word tawallu that they did turn back, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to say, Illa qaleelam minhum. A very small number of people is who went forward to the battle. A very small number. Again, numbers are not mentioned, so we will not talk about the numbers, but a very small percentage of the people who actually went forward into the battle. Right? Wallahu alimun bizzalimin. Allah says Allah knows the ones who do zulm. Allah knows the bizzalimin, as in the ones who do zulm. And the word zulm that is being used here is so appropriate in the sense of why the word zulm is to take something away from its rightful place, right? This is what, to not give the haq of something, that is called zulm, right? And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the word zulm, is their intention. They had the intention of getting back their land and their children, but they portrayed that their intention was fi sabilillah. So they were misplacing the two, and that was not okay. That was not right, because your intentions matter a lot in the success that you're going to get. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this was their attitude towards towards what they were doing. They called it fi sabilillah, but this was their attitude towards this. Now here, this ayah tells, from this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Sahaba that you are going into the battle of Badr, and this is completely fi sabilillah. Right? The Battle of Badr was also called the Yawmul Furqan, as in the day when the truth was separated from the falsehood. Right? So this battle was very, very important for the deen to move forward. Right? Subhanallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bringing this ayah, He is preparing the Sahaba that don't think about the land or your families or your children, or no, that's not the purpose of this battle at all. This battle is, the intentions need to be very, very clear. The intentions need to be, if it is fi sabilillah, it is only fi sabilillah. Allah only accepts that which is done purely for His sake. So if you're saying fi sabilillah, nothing else needs to come in between this. This was this incident, like I mentioned, it goes on beyond, and as we move forward, we'll try and understand better as to what happened to them. This was ayah number 246. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayah number 247, وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ بَعَثَ لَكُمُ الطَّالُوتَ مَلِكًا. So they asked for a king. So what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed a king for them. قَدْ بَعَثَ. He appointed for them a king, right? And who was the king? Talut. What did they want? They wanted a king so that somebody among them could be chosen, right? They considered themselves to be the ones who are capable of, taking the leadership. They wanted somebody among them. I mean, if they had to choose among themselves, they could have done it, but, there would have been a lot of fighting. So then they told the Prophet to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to choose a king for them. So if it comes from there, then there is no fighting, right? Subhanallah. So that was the backstory of this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did choose Talut, and Talut was not any elite or wealthy person, nothing of that sort, but he was in fact quite poor. But he was apparently Talut, from the word tul, which, as in, he was a very tall person, very massive person, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose him. And this was a disappointment to their aspirations, right? Because Allah had appointed somebody whom they did not even think that somebody like this could be chosen. So what did they do? They said, قالوا أَنَّا يَكُونُ لَهُ مُلْكُ عَلَيْنَا. How can he have, any kind of dominance over us? How is it even possible? How is it even acceptable that, he is going to be a king or he is going to lead us? How is it possible? Why? Why? Right? The reason for why he cannot be the king. وَنَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِالْمُلْكِ مِنْهُ وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ. Right? They said, we have more right. Why? Because he has not been given what we have been given. We have been given wealth, and he has not been given wealth. We have been given a certain position, and he has not been given. Walam yukta, as in he has not been given. Allah never gave it to him. He did not. He is not anybody affluent or influential in the society right now. So how can he be chosen for a position like this? Well, we have been given. So Allah has chosen us to be given wealth and to be given positions. So again, this leadership also has to be among us. How can it go to him? And they also said, "Walam yu'ta sa'atan min al-mal." Right? He does not have wealth. He literally lives hand to mouth. How can he enter something like politics? How is it even possible? So they were like really, really not in acceptance of Allah's decree. Right? And for them, this was their criteria. The criteria for leadership was wealth. And that's the situation that we see in the politics that we see now. It is the wealth. It is not about the person's capacity, capability, educational background. Oh, no, it is about wealth, right? It is all about money, right? So this is what they were talking about. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the Rasul said, he said, Allah has chosen him over you. Right? So that's like the end of discussion. Right? The Prophet said, Allah has chosen you or chosen him over you. The word that is used here is قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اسْتَفَاهُ. Istifa, as in chosen, as in this is, and the word istifa is like, it is something which indicates purity, something that indicates clean. So Allah has chosen this person for you based on his purity. Right? So there are no more arguments about this. When Allah has chosen, this is qadar Allah, it has to be accepted. Right? So then what did they, and he said, he has given him. So if you think that he's not capable, but then the fact is, when Allah has chosen him, he has given him the resources to handle this responsibility as well. What has he done? وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. He has given him more in terms of ilm and in terms of jism, as in he's given him more knowledge as in he's given him a broad vision, he's given him the knowledge of maybe the military, the economics, an ability to motivate people. Allah has given him all that so that he can be a good leader. And he's given him jism, as in he's given him strength. He's given him, he's given him that powerful, strong physical body. Yeah, this. So he's given him these two so that he can fulfill this responsibility of a good leader, of to fit in, to take up this responsibility that Allah is putting on him. And this is how it always works. Allah never pushes you into something which you cannot handle. Before you are given a position, before you are given some sort of a responsibility, you are provided with the resources to handle that responsibility. Right? You are trained to handle that responsibility. Sometimes we are like, how am I even going to do this? But subhanallah, when you actually jump into it, you'll be surprised that we do it. We have the potential to do it, but we do not trust our own potential. We just feel like, I cannot do that, but Allah puts you in that position by already providing you with what talents you need, what skills you need to handle that position. This is the taqseem of Allah. He chooses people for his work, for the work of deen, not because they are rich, or not because they are beautiful, or not because they are influential, but because they have the qualities which he has given them for that particular position. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him this knowledge and this strength to handle this responsibility. And then wallahu yu'ti mulkahu, it goes on to say that Allah grants his grants a certain position, a certain dominance to whomever he wishes. It is his mulk, and in his mulk, whomever he wishes for a certain position, he gives it to them as per what he wishes. This nobody can influence his decision when it comes to his choices. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah is bountiful. Allah is all knowing, as in this is his mulk. He can give, he has it is, and he has this vast knowledge. Wasi is vastness and alim is knowledge. He has this vast knowledge of who can do what. Our ability to perceive the talents of people is very, very limited. We can only see what we can only take in as much as we see. Okay, he's very good at this, or she's very good at this, she's very good at talking, or she's very good at organizing things. We can only see when we see them exhibiting their talents, right? But what is hidden inside a person, you can never see. And sometimes people, they are so quiet and so reserved, but subhanallah, when given an opportunity, they come out doing it so beautifully. And you're like, how come we didn't know this talent was there within? But the fact is, every person Allah has blessed with unique talents. Everybody has something beautiful in them, right? Every person. There is nobody who's been created with nothing. It's just that some people's talents come out and some people's talents are hidden. But subhanallah, when this is the perfect planning of Allah, that He puts us in positions, and He puts us when we ask Allah for khair. Trust me, when we ask Allah for khair, He puts us in positions where we are able to, do the best, do that which is hidden within us. We are able to bring it out for the sake of Allah, right? So that this is again a very beautiful way of looking at it. That we do not waste our talents for, getting tired in worldly things, but it is concentrated on doing things for Deen. So even if it is not exhibited for everybody to see, when Allah puts us in a position and those talents are used, it is really a blessing from Allah to have that ability to do the work of Deen using those talents that Allah has provided us with. Right? Anything you'd like to add? These are beautiful ayahs, a story, but lots and lots of lessons for all of us. Yeah, anything you want to add to this?
Subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, giving us glimpses of history
Mm-hmm.
so that we can reflect upon this and take lessons from it and apply it in our lives.
Yes.
Subhanallah. And it's just that the previous ayah, the chiefs, they made great claims that they can fight. And,
Yep.
the fighting was ordained, they turned away.
They turned away.
Yeah, so subhanallah, I was just thinking about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like arrogance or boasting or,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
making great claims like that. And when it's time to work, the time comes when Allah gives them opportunity to fight, then
Hmm.
they most of them turn away.
Right, subhanallah. Right. So this arrogance is what made them not accept the person that Allah had chosen, right? This is like literally in today's terminology, racism. You do not want to accept people the way they are. You kind of shun them because they do not belong to this class or this color or whatever. This is the arrogance. But then again, it comes down to the fact that, nobody is greater or lesser in the sight of Allah. It is only His connection with Allah, the taqwa that they have, which makes them greater in the sight of Allah. So this is man-made things, and it's all about, again, like how Sister Hajira said, when it comes the time to perform, whoever is able to plunge and do it is the one who really is one with that concept of I have iman, I have taqwa, I have tawakkul. Otherwise these things are all in the heart, right? And your actions is what indicates the state or the levels of all these feelings in the heart. Right. Barakallah fiqh, Sister Hajra. All right, ayah number 248. وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ آيَةَ مُلْكِهِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَكُمُ التَّابُوتُ فِيهِ سَكِينَةٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَبَقِيَّةٌ مِّمَّا تَرَكَ آلُ مُوسَى وَآلُ هَارُونَ. Right. So here, because they were finding it difficult to accept Talut as their king, the prophet tells them that it's important that they accept it, because if you're not confident about the leadership, you're not going to be confident about moving forward, right? So this confidence had to be created. This confidence had to be given. That this is the right decision. Allah has chosen him, and so it is the right decision. It is good for you. So here Allah subhanahu this ayah starts as وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ آيَةَ مُلْكِهِ أَن يَأْتِيَكُمْ, that the one of the signs of him being the right person, the right king, the right leader for this particular task, is that what will come to you, the tabut will come to you. The tabut was a chest. Okay, and this was something that the Bani Israel had with them, which was like a relic, which was like something that was very close to them. And this chest had many things in it. It had the asa of Musa al Islam. It had the apparently it even had the seeds of man. Those man and salwa which came to them, the food which came to them, apparently it had the seeds, the grains of that man. And it was something which was very special to them. And it had it even had those tablets which Musa al Islam was given the on when he went to Kohitur to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those tablets on which the commandments were given. Even those tablets were there. So for them, this chest was very, very special, right? And so they had a sort of an emotional attachment to this. So what happened is that when they were attacked by enemies, and this was taken away from them, this was lost. So they lost this. So the prophet is telling them that the sign of Talut being the right king is that this chest will come back to you. This chest will return back to you. And this chest, because it has such an emotional connect, this will be a source of sakina for you. This will be a source of tranquility. This will be a source of peace of mind. This will be a reassurance that this is the right decision that was taken. And again, like we said, this was it gave them a lot of comfort. Just like, when we see the Hajr Aswad, how do we feel? you know we our hearts come to a certain feeling of sukoon, right? It's important for us, right? We know that it is there. We know the Hajr Aswad is there in that position, and it gives us a sukoon. I mean, we cannot even imagine it not being there, right? Subhanallah. So for them, this was a kind of emotional connect that was with the tabut, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this will come back to them. How it will come back to them? It will be carried by the angels. The angels will bring this to them. Allahu alam how that happens, but this is we know again that when a person is steadfast, when a person is with the qadar of Allah, when a person keeps moving forward as per what Allah has ordained him to do, then what happens? As in the Battle of Badr, what did we see? Allah sends down angels to help him, right? So this is what is being promised to them as well, that the angels will bring it to you, right? Now this was for them to understand that this decision was right, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to say, inna fi dhalika la'ayatan lakum in kuntum mu'minin. This is a sign, but this sign of the tabut of Talut being the king, you will only be able to see it if you have iman, right? And this is only people of iman will accept it, right? This evidence of seeing the chest, it kind of helps you to build your iman. So again, we are talking about the fact that accepting Allah's decision, it sometimes it might be going against our nafs. Sometimes we might not be okay with it. But if it has come down and we do feel that this is, I asked for this and Allah is giving me this, and I'm like, no, this is not what I asked for, but this was what was right for you. you know This was what was right for you. Allah has given you what is good for you. Allah has given you what is khair for you. It is like this, and sometimes you don't see the khair because you don't see it immediately. It is like this, there's this example of a cashew plant, right? It apparently, this cashew plant, it grows for about 30 years, and it has no fruit for 30 years. It just grows and grows and grows. But then once it starts giving the fruit, the it fruit goes on like for 200 years once it starts, right? Subhanallah. So it takes time. Sometimes things take time to shape up and for you to see the results. So the patience is the key here. Sabr is the key here. So you might not see the immediate results of something that Allah has given you, but with patience and with time, if you accept what Allah has given you, if you accept it as this is from Allah, this has definitely got khair in it, you'll be able to see the positive outcome of it. If not in dunya, definitely in the akhirah. Right? And number 249. فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود قال إن الله مبتليكم بنهر. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these people have been told and they have accepted Talut as their king. And now what is happening? He is marching forward. He is marching forward with his army. Right, he's marching forward with his army, and here he is being told that when he's marching forward, he is already told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that there will be a test. There are going to be tests. Now, why is there going to be tests? What is the purpose of these tests? If we just understand that this situation is that this army was like a sudden army. It was not like a planned army. It did not get any training. It did not get any sort of physical training arrangement or motivation or organization. They did not get anything of that sort. Everything's just happened very quickly, right? So now to prepare them for what lies ahead, they need to be tested so that the prophet, the Talut could see who really is capable of being taken forward, who will be able to handle the pressure and be disciplined in that situation. And we all know that an army does not just comprise of one or two people, but that the fact that everybody in the army has a strategic position, and they have to do what is required of them in that position, and there has to be like 100% discipline for everybody to move forward, right? Subhanallah. So this is important, and so to get to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts them through different tests. Now this ayah talks about the different tests wherein when they marched forward, in Allaha mubtalikum binahar, the first test was that they had to pass through a river, a nahar. And they are being told, and they are being prepared earlier on itself. They are not like, they just see the water suddenly and then they just run towards it. So they're being told before itself that there will be a river, and they are being told that whoever drinks from it, فَمَنْ شَرِبَ مِنْهُ فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي, whoever drinks water from that river, then he is not from us. As in, he is not going to be part of the army anymore. He is not going to be under the leadership of Talut. They are free to go back. Right? So that is the first step. فَمَنْ لَمْ يَتَعَمْهُ فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. And it is being told that whoever takes a little from it, whoever does not taste anything from it, then he's from us. Illa, except that he takes a little in the cup of his hand. Now, he's seeing a huge water resource in front of him, but all he takes is a cup, is what is coming in the cup of his hand. He takes only that much and he drinks. He just takes like one little gulp of it, and that's about it, not more than that. If that is what, and subhanallah, yes, they are very far away. They've moved out of their place. They've been walking, and of course, they have depleted their resources, so they do not have the water they need. So of course, they will want to have a lot of water. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, one who takes just a little bit of water, then he is still in the army. As in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give so much barakah in that little water. What he is seeing is how many of them are doing the itat as per what they have been told, right? Not like, how is just this little water going to help us? But If you're being told just take a little bit of water, there will be barakah in it. That trust factor has to be there. We've just gone through Ramadan, right? Subhanallah, we managed long hours of fasting with just that little suhoor that we had, right? How did that happen? Doesn't happen on normal days, right? But then is the barakah of Ramadan, right? Subhanallah, Allah gives us the strength and the energy, and we do a lot more in Ramadan than we do on other days. How come? Is the same 24 hours? How come we are having the energy to do so much more? That's the barakah of Ramadan. So this was again Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling, that's all. That little cup is what you get. The little cup of what that happens within your palm, in your palm. That much is all you're allowed to take, right? And فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells that there's only a few of them. Already, if we remember, there was the huge Bani Israel community was willing to go for war. But when war was actually mandated, a lot of them stayed back, only a few of them came. So the few of them that have come in, now what happened when they are going through the first test, they drink a lot of water, which they were not supposed to drink. And they are out of the army, right? And who progresses forward? Just a few of those, like, a little less of, just a few from that army now progresses forward. Now what happens? فلما جاوزه هو والذين آمنوا معه قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجالوت وجنوده. Now they are progressing towards the enemy, and as they are progressing, they are seeing that okay, as they are progressing, they are seeing the enemy in front of them. And as they are seeing the enemy in front of them, subhanallah, they get scared. And that's normal, right? It's human beings, they do get scared. So as they keep progressing forward and they see the enemy and they get scared about it, right? Some of them kind of start losing hope. They are like, now we are very scared. Now we do not have the strength to fight this army. They're like, the morale is going down, right? And this is like, something that we have to understand, that even a few of them, or even one of them, when he expresses that, this is going to be tough, then he's kind of that is kind of rippling through the entire army, that, no, this is tough, this is difficult. So now they're losing their morale. So what happens now? Then what happens? So it is said, قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو الله كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, then there were a few among them who were able to motivate them. A few among those were able to motivate them, saying that you're not doing this for anything else but for the reward of Allah. You move forward, Allah is going to be pleased with you. And if Allah is pleased, Allah is going to forgive you. So you're going to be rewarded for this. So move forward. If you live to see if you live, you will still get rewarded. If you die, you still get rewarded. So it is a win-win situation. So move forward, and they inspire them. The ones who had the strong iman, يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو اللَّهِ, the ones who had complete, yaqeen that they are definitely going to meet Allah, they said, it's okay, it's not worth it. This life is not worth it. Let's move forward. And they inspired them, saying that there's many a time in history that has happened that a smaller army has defeated a bigger army, right? And this is again the Battle of Badr, bringing in that it was just 313 against 1,000, right? 313 Muslims against the powerful Quraysh of that time. The 313 Muslims, all of them did not even have a ride. All of them did not hold a sword. All of them did not have weapons. They were like, you could see they were numbered, the number of weapons they had. They were numbered, some in single digits, right? Well, the Quraysh were fully armored, fully equipped with all that they needed, right? And how was that going to happen? But what happened in Badr? Was it the numbers? Was it the resources? No. It was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help, right? And the intention of the Sahaba, the tawakkul of the Sahaba that helped them win, right? So here they are being told this whole incidence is being told to them before the Battle of Badr to prepare them that if you're going to be faced with a situation like this, there is no need to worry because there's been times in the history that an army with few numbers has overtaken an army with a bigger number. With what? Biiznillah. With the izn of Allah, with the permission of Allah. Wallahu ma'as sabirin. Because Allah is the one who is with the people of sabr. And when a person has iman, when a person has this complete yaqeen that I am going to be rewarded for this, that is part of your iman as well, right? Complete yaqeen in the qadr of Allah, right? When a person has iman, Allah gives him the sabr for the situation, right? Otherwise, yes, it is very, very difficult. It is sometimes you feel that it is almost impossible. You feel that it is not within your capacity to do something like this. But then when you have that faith, when you have that iman, when you have that the sabr that comes along with it, subhanallah, there is nothing that is going to be that is going to deter you from it. With the help of Allah, with the izn of Allah, success is definitely possible, right? And the sabr is, again, we do understand that sabr is patience, but sabr is more than just patience. Sabr is being consistent, being committed, not to lose that commitment, to keep moving forward. That is sabr as well, right? And subhanallah, this is very important. Sabr is a very important entity. It's like, if without sabr, you're not going to be able to do, like if we did ayat bir earlier on in Surah Baqarah, and we read about the different kinds of things that you can do, which come under the category of bir, the category of righteous deeds. And that ayah spoke about sabr. Right? That ayah spoke about sabr, that the ones who have sabr are the ones who are truthful and the ones who are able to face the situation and able to do what needs to be done. Right? Subhanallah. So sabr is a very, very, very important entity in us maintaining our iman. Anything you want to add?
No, subhanallah. This is such a beautiful story, and there
Yeah,
are so many lessons for us to learn. And
right.
as a believer, we are always faced with tests in life. Uh,
Right.
Sometimes we have daily tests, sometimes once in a while we get, very severe tests. And subhanallah, and patience is very important in all situations.
In all situations. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
I think the
And
next ayah has the beautiful dua for the sabr,
right,
right?
subhanallah. Such a
Uh,
beautiful dua, right? Subhanallah. Right. So when they were moving forward, now they are facing the enemy, right? They've passed the tests and all the different tests that they had to go through. They passed everything, and then now there is an army which is standing in front of the enemy. Now what do? Falamma barazu. Barazu, the word barazu means it's like you're in front of something with no barrier in front of you, right? Nothing which is hindering your view. You're exactly in front of the enemy now, right? So what happens? They say falamma barazu li jaluta wa junudihi, when they came in front of Jalut, and Jalut is huge. Okay, Jalut is like a huge and towering personality, and he is huge and he's completely armored, and all that is seen of him is his eyes. Every other part of his body is covered with armor, right? So he is completely covered, and he and his army is like in front of them. What do they say? قالوا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبر. They say, pour on us. Afriq is Afriq comes from the word faragh, which means, to empty something, right? So they are asking, empty this whole sabr on top of us, like pour bucket full of sabr on us, so that we are drenched in sabr. Why? Because the previous ayah spoke about inna allaha ma'as sabirin, right? So by asking sabr, what are they actually saying? What are they actually looking at? That, if we ask for sabr and Allah gives us sabr, sabr, then we will get Allah's ma'iyah as well. We will get Allah's companionship as well. And nothing, if you have Allah on your side, nothing can defeat you, right? SubhanAllah. So this was a beautiful dua, and when we ask for this is what we're asking for. Like, I want to do something, I want to be able to do something, and I am finding it difficult. So give me the ability to continue to do it, which means give me the sabr to do it. And when we are asking for sabr, we are asking for Allah to help us do it. Right? Rabbana afriq alayna sabran wa thabbit aqdamana. This is the practical indication of sabr. You have sabr, you can't see the sabr, right? You can't see, it is just a feeling, right? And how do you see whether you have sabr? That you are firmly grounded. You don't run away from the situation. You keep moving forward and you ask for this, right? Thabbit aqdamana. Put something that just sticks my feet down so that I do what I have started to do. I do what I was given, the responsibility that I was given. Give me the ability to do it. Let me continue to do it. Let me finish what I started. Right? You're asking for thabit aqdamana. Surna, and help us, give us help or give us victory alal qawm al kafirin, over the kafir qawm. This is again so beautiful. They did not say Jalut, give us victory over Jalut and his people, though the ayah started with they, when they saw Jalut and his army, they made this dua. But like, what happened? Qawm al kafirin, as in the people who do kufr, the people who do not have iman. It's possible that Jalut and his people might might bring iman later. So we do not want to fight people of iman, but we want to fight the kafir. We want to be standing steadfast against the kafir. Wang surna, we are asking for Allah's help against the kafir, right? And this nasr is like, it's a big, serious, serious, huge help. It's something that I cannot do this by myself. I can only do it with the help of Allah, right? So they ask for this in such a beautiful dua, which is very, very important in our present scenario as well, right? What are we fighting? We are staying, we are here, and we are in aman, and subhanallah, we know that there is a part of our ummah is going through a very difficult phase, very difficult test, and we should be able to understand who's on whose side as well, so that we make the dua in a way that we are supporting that which is true, not supporting that which is falsehood, because kufr is hiding the truth. The word kufr is to hide that which is true. So it's not about what is visible on the outside, but it is about what is the truth. And we all have the idea, we do know what is truth and what is falsehood. We are not going to be using this platform to discuss that, but we are not going to be blinded by saying, yeah, give help to this people, this even when we know that this is not what is right, right? So subhanallah, here we are literally talking about asking for Allah's help against that which is wrong. فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. فَهَزَمُوهُمْ fa. The word fa, the letter fa is very important here, means so, therefore, it's not wahazamuhum, it is fahazamuhum, as in because of something you did, Allah has given you hazamuhum. Hazam means victory. Because of a victory, as in the other side is completely destroyed, and so one side is destroyed, the other side is obviously victorious. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word fa to indicate because of what you did, as in you made the dua, you asked for steadfastness, so Allah gave you victory. فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ. First, Allah gives them the credit for the fact that they asked for dua, they put in the effort, and then Allah gave them the permission to be victorious. So, فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ. And what happened? وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ. No, there was no prophet, there was no Talut. Now that is Dawood, right? Dawood, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses from his people for particular specific jobs, that who has the resources for that. Who was Dawood al-Islam? He was a shepherd, and he was very good with his sling. his target was like, spot on, right? Subhanallah. And what did he do? He we do not have this narration in the Quran, but it's from the biblical text that he slung he used the sling, and the like we mentioned before, only his the Jalut's whole armor was all over his body except his eyes, right? So the slingshot had to be so perfect that it hit him exactly where the armor was not there, right? Subhanallah. And Allah chose him for this job, chose somebody who was like, not part of the army, not going through the big training, nothing of that sort. He was just a shepherd, right? Subhanallah. And he just joined in, right? But he had to do this was something that Allah had destined for him to do. And so وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ وَآتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. Here it was not giving the mulk to the prophet, it was not giving the mulk to Talut, but it was Dawood. Dawood al-Islam was given this mulk because this is what Allah had destined for him. Dawood al-Islam was going to get this mulk, this milkiyat, and so this whole scene was created so that he would reach that position. Right, sisters, this is so profound, sisters. We already Allah already has a certain position for all of us. He has a certain plan for all of us. Now, for us to reach that position, we have to go through different trials and situations, and asking why is not going to help. But on the contrary, if you're going to be taking, this is Allah's plan for me, and I'm going to plunge head on into this, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Allah is not going to put me through something that I cannot bear, and I have to maneuver myself through these trials so that I can reach the position which Allah has kept for me. Right, this was Dawood al-Islam. He had to get this mulk, this king, to become a king, and Allah blessed him with hikmah. What was hikmah over here? The fact that he was a very young person at this point of time, but to be given this milkiyat, obviously he needed to have the resources to handle this position, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him, gave him the hikmah of how to run this mulk, right? The wisdom to make the right decisions, and he taught him whatever he wished, and he taught him whatever he will. وَعَلَّمَهُ مِمَّا يَشَاءُ. He taught him whatever he wished, and to know whatever he taught him, we'll go through the rest of the Quran. This is all that is mentioned over here, just to keep the curiosity going. As we go through the Quran, we will see what all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what all, blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted Dawood alayhi salam, right? وَلَوْلَا دَفَعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْدَهُمْ بِبَعْدٍ. This is the way of Allah. This is the way of Allah, that he takes away one group. Dafa'a, as in to push away one group to bring another group, right? And this is how it is. Nothing is constant, right? Change is the only thing that is constant, and this is what Allah does. There is one government, and then that is replaced by another, one nation which is on top and it's replaced by another, one superpower and that is replaced by the other. This is what happens, right? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do this? So that lafasadatil ardu walakin Allah, he does this so that there will be no corruption in this land. Because if it is one power which is going to be constant, then there will be corruption. And if we can look at it from the Muslims, the Khalifa, that was like a very beautiful time, the golden age of the Muslims, right? But then what happened? Corruption came in, right? People started using their power and their money and their whatnot, and they created a lot of fasad. So what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? He removed the Muslims. He removed the Muslims, and there were other superpowers that took over. Why was this done? Why weren't the Muslims kept in position? Because if they had to stay in position, it is not the Muslims, it is Islam which will be considered as a corrupt religion. And that's not okay. That's not okay. Islam is here to stay. So the Muslims were removed so that they could understand that what they did was wrong, and they would come back How are they going to come back? They're going to be fighting the corruption. That corruption which they were once a victim of, now you are in a position to fight this corruption so that you can come back to the power. Right? Subhanallah. So this is Allah's way of doing things. And this is how it is. No one stays in power all the time. Nothing is eternal. Anybody who goes on top has to come down. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends this ayah by saying, um, Allahu dhu fadlin alal alameen. He has, Allah's favors are immense. What alal alameen? So he is not just thinking about one group of people. He is looking at alal alameen, on everybody. He is gracious to everybody, and because he is the Rabb of al alameen, he has to be fair to everybody. So somebody cannot stay in power just because they have been in power, or just because they are stronger, or just because they have the money. No, this will have to come, be rotated, this will have to be changed, this will be constantly replaced, and this is how it works, so that the people understand where they are coming from, what is happening, where they are going to, so that they are conscious, about what they do. Right, the last ayah of today, tilka ayatullahi natluha alayka bilhaq wa innaka laminal mursalin. Now these are ayahs that have been revealed to the prophet. He was not there at that point of time when all this was happening. The story that we just read, he was not there, but this has been revealed to him so that he can strengthen himself, and he can strengthen the sahabas, because they were going to be facing a similar situation. And this is the truth. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's being revealed to him. The wahi is coming to him so that he feels that conviction that Allah did this for the Bani Israel at that point of time, when they trusted Allah's plan, when they went with Allah's plan, when they did what they were supposed to do, right, as per what Allah destined them to do. When they did that, Allah gave them victory. Now it is the time of the Muslims. Now this is the chosen ummah. They will be facing the trials, they will be facing the tests. When they accept the decree of Allah, when they have their iman going strong, when they have this conviction that Allah is on their side, then subhanallah, they will be victorious. And this is something that we all take it for ourselves, that Allah's plans are perfect. And we are where we are because this is where Allah has destined us to be, right? And we need to be completely okay with the qadar of Allah so that we are able to move forward in a conscious way without having to give up on anything that is without having to give up on the truth, right? We are able to hold on to that which is truth. We are able to be strong on that which is true, and we are not giving up our principles for any reason, because this world is very, very temporary. But we will be questioned, and this phase that we are going through, this will also pass. But our reaction, our attitude, the kind of duas we make, the way we feel about what's happening, this will stay, and this will be written in our book of deeds. So to be standing by the truth is our only way of gaining the pleasure of Allah. We do not stand by that which appears true just to be siding on people, being in people's good books. No, that's not the reason. That's not how a moment is. Moment's ultimate goal is the pleasure of Allah. So and these are all tests that we will go through to prove our iman. Right? Barakallah fikum. Anything you'd like to add? This was the end of Juz 2. And inshallah, when we connect next session, we will be starting with Juz 3. But we're not done with Surah Al-Baqarah still. Yes. Anything you'd like to add?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay. So, alhamdulillah. The whole time I was driving, and alhamdulillah, I reached my destination. And the whole time I was going through the ayahs that you were explaining. And subhanallah, in our personal journeys as well, sometimes what happens is that we are in a situation that we were never before. Right? Like, for example, this companions here mentioned were also in a situation which they were never before, like they didn't have to face that much, or something like that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining the whole prerequisite as a believer we need to have. Like, sometimes we are just recommended a dua and just we sit down and make a dua. But then here there is a proper process how the things work according to Allah's plan. So what was there is certain demand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, just like in this case they were asked to, like, as an experiment, take a little bit. Just a minute. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So yes, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us for certain kind of prerequisite requirement. Can you lower the voice bit? Yeah. So the prerequisite here was to become steadfast, to become patient, to hold yourself, and to also get ready to face the army, and also to stand in front of it. And then they made the dua. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that because you made the dua, because you made this all, like tying the camel thing, like getting preparation and everything. So in after that you made the dua, meaning we put the trust in Allah, and then Allah's help is definitely gonna come. So in a journal, like general life, like every person has a different journey, they are going through different things, and sometimes we are completely exposed to a uh, very new kind of challenge that nobody had to go through, or nobody else, or not none of in our life experience it has been happened, right? So when we are faced with those kind of challenge, we need to do all those kind of prerequisite which is required from our body, our soul, our mind, and then make the dua, and then make that complete trust in Allah. And Allah is showing the believer that Allah is going to help us. So as a revert sisters as well, we are sometimes surrounded by our own non-Muslim relatives. Sometimes we are surrounded by our different kind of environment, and sometimes we are given a task that we were never had to take it before, right? So in all those situations, Allah has given an explicit example through the mursaleen, through the messenger, because this is a message. The duty of the messenger is to convey the message to the believers. So this Quran has done an excellent job to convey this message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that how Allah's plan is going to work. So whenever we are faced with any kind of challenge that is it is out of our capacity to even think about, like how to deal with it and how to be patient with it, and Allah is saying that Allah is gonna definitely help us, but there are certain prerequisites. You need to get ready, you need to have certain kind of sabr, and then make dua and tawakkal. So this is the plan, like Allah is saying that
Yeah.
this is how Allah is gonna help you, but there are certain things that you need to fulfill
Right.
from your side.
Subhanallah.
Jazakallah.
Subhanallah. This is the equation that you put in your effort, you make your dua, you get the izn of Allah, you get success. Anything missing in this, obviously, you do not get that ultimate success. But the effort is very important. Jazakallah khair, Afia, for sharing that. This is something that we see in every situation. If we look at the stories of the prophets, the stick was not supposed to part the sea, right? For Musa alayhi salam, that stick does not have the capacity. Allah could have just said kun, and the sea would have parted. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, use what you have, use the resource you have, use that stick, do your little bit, right? He had so much tawakkul, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Musa alayhi salam was facing the sea and the Bani Israel were like, where did you bring us? He said that Allah is with me, ma'ana, He is with me, right? And He will not leave me like this. He had full, complete confidence, right? What was he asked to do? Same, subhanallah, this is something that we have seen all through the Quran, examples in the stories that, effort is required along with the dua. It's not just the dua and you become static just asking for dua and I have trust in Allah and it's all going to happen. No, the effort is required, the dua is required, then you get the permission of Allah to get the success. Yes, Sister Hajra, you want to add something?
No, mashallah. Jazakumullah khair, Sister Kamila, and also Sister Afia, mashallah. That was really beautiful, Alhamdulillah. I wanted to tell the sisters that, inshallah, this coming Saturday, there's going to be a virtual online Eid gathering, inshallah, at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So, inshallah, I'll be posting the flyer and the flyer is already been posted and advertised. I'm going to post the Zoom link soon, inshallah, and we'll be very happy if all of you will be able to join us on Saturday, inshallah. So I just wanted to add that.
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, we'll continue with our lesson, inshallah, next
Next
Wednesday.
week at the same time. Yes, inshallah. Barakallah fikum. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.